results in an extended opening set, but a win nevertheless for the HD Spikers, 28-26 against the Crossovers. HD Spikers winning over the Crossovers in an extended opening set here in the 2024 PNBF Champions League. As we look at highlights of set number one, where HD Spikers and led by as many as 5 points.
It was an exciting first set. I mean, it was quality volleyball that we've seen from both these teams. New faces, new addition. We've seen some challenges, yung mga errors na nakita natin. But you know, ultimately, I did mention that in the first set, siguro what's commendable with both teams is how they make up for the errors that they've committed. Yung bawi agad, no, the next time the setter or the next time they're given the ball. But you know, ultimately, we see the composure with Signal HD all the way up to the very end, really utilizing all the different skill departments as we look at the stats for set number one. Dikit lang, no, pagdating sa opensa. But when it comes to blocking, dito nagkaroon si Cherry Tigo. We did see that, no, namarkahan si Gander earlier. But the service aces of Signal HD really challenged the first ball of Cherry in that first set. At yun din, ano, I think for Signal HD, what they would need to look at is yung mga giveaway points din nila. It could have been much easier for them, you know, to win that first set kung di dun sa kanilang mga errors. But all is good because they took that first set against Cherry Tigo.
Although they took the long route. Galang with 4 points, second leading scorer. Mylene Baat has 9, but not enough to give Crossovers the win in the opening set. Danny Gantler with 8 points. She is the top scorer for the HD Spikers. Baat. And then new team captain Abby Maraño. We mentioned in the open how big of a deal that is, obviously, for joining the team, and yet with her veteran smarts, her experience, getting the nod from new head coach Kung Fu Reyes to be the team captain. A slight tweak in the starting lineup and for the Crossovers.
We did say that we expect that there will be some experiment or testing out, you know, the lineup here for Coach Kung Fu, and we see a different set for Cherry Tigo here.
They have Karandang in the starting lineup along with Robles and Shai Adorador and Ea Laure. The only remaining player in this first set starting lineup is Joy Micagande. There's Karandang with the first attack for the Crossovers. Cagande picking it up. Ea Laure back to her setting duties, even with Cagande on the floor. And there's a point by Cesc Robles.
Another new player for number 16,
This also goes to show what you have mentioned earlier, no? For both teams, ang daming pwedeng hugutin kasi from the bench.
Former Lady Bulldog, Cesc Robles. Here's Gandler with the pass. Molina with the touch, push, and the first point for the HD Spikers. We're tied at 1.
See that the attackers on the side of Signal HD, they're very efficient, just really looking at where they should place the ball.
What is the missing factor for you, Anne, for this new look Crossovers?
You know, I think at this point, for this, for at least for the roster that we're seeing here for the second set, parang mas malakasan yung umpisa nila. But nonetheless, we see that they are scoring the points. So it doesn't matter how strong you hit the ball. Ang importante dyan, efficient. And you see Laure, this time in her natural position, scores that point. Sabi niya, hindi naman kailangan malakas. Basta kailangan makapuntos.
Seth Rodriguez, by the way, is in the game for the first time for the Crossovers as Karandang gets a service ace. And we see the Crossovers on top by this big for the very first time. They're up by 2 points. Their first taste of the lead was they picked up set point in the first set, but they were unable to close it out. Vandy Gandler continuing to score, and she has 9 points already. How good has Gandler been after her transition from the UAAP to the PVL, Anne?
You know, the Gandler that we're seeing now, really a lot of improvement, a lot of confidence also in the way she moves. And we see it here, no? Yun yung sinasabi natin, the maturity din siguro, no? After, of course, college is different. Playing in university is different. Now you're in a different scene like this, diba?
Seth Rodriguez knocking it outside. So after a 3-1 advantage, a 2-point run here for the HD Spikers. We're tied at 3. Set number 2. Uding Duremdes with a receive. There's Seth Rodriguez with a miss hit. Goes over. There's a nice push from Gandler. Drops right in front of Cagande.
Same challenge that Cherry Tigo had earlier, yung kanilang depensa, really keeping the ball alive. We're starting to see that here in the second set.
This is a 3-point run for the HD Spikers. They're now on top. First lead change of the second set, but a quick answer there from Ea Laure.
Through the block, Ea Laure. For all.
For all. Riri Meneses picked up by Robles. Ea Laure. Pancake save. Doesn't get a good bounce off the hand of Cayuna. So Laure back-to-back points and a 2-point run for the crossovers. Puts them back on top by 1.
And Laure just making it look very simple.
Yeah. Shaya Adorador came off the bench in the opening set in the starting lineup here in set number 2. Serve is straight into the net for the former UE Lady Warrior. Five all, second set. That's right on the line. Robles let it go. Second ace for Chimbasas.
Too much space left behind her. But that was a tough serve as well, no? It was going long and it was a floater.
Cagande. Underhand pass. Shaya gets the line. There's going to be a challenge here. You can see from the face of Coach Shaq, challenge mo. So here we go. Look, team law from where I'm sitting. So ball in, ball out challenge for the HD Spikers. Makandili katindig, let it go. And if Don lets it go, you're thinking that must be outside.
But let's see.
If one of the best liberos thinks that may be going out, Coach Shaq will challenge it.
And you know, they do have the best
Right.
view over there.
And you love the Mission Impossible song in the background because it may be a 50-50, this challenge for Coach Shaq. Oh, it is right on the line by a millimeter. So unsuccessful challenge for Coach Shaq.
It really depends on which angle you get to see it. Especially for that one, ano, na talagang konti lang yung dikit sa line.
Ea Laure with the serve. Cayuna, the back set running attack for Meneses. Shaya Adorador mishits. despite an extended opening set, you'd think the players have warmed up already, but a lot of surprising mishits here at the start of set number 2, Anne.
I think also for set number 2, it's because it's a different roster than the first one, at least for Cherry Tigo. You see that the movement is a little bit more relaxed than it was in the first set. The intensity is not the same.
Right. And coverage as well. Nobody close to where the ball dropped. As Molina scores, we'll take another look at this Ces Molina masterpiece down the line. And that point sends us to our first technical timeout. HD Spikers up by 2. 8-6, second set in favor of the HD Spikers as you look at the crowd on the second game of opening day of the 2024 PNVF Champions League. This is the follow-up league after the Challenge Cup, which happened late last year. And this tournament a lot tighter with a lot less teams because it only includes the top 8 teams of the clubs, the universities, and of course the armed forces. Good exchange after the technical timeout. Here's Molina. And she scores once again. Back-to-back points for Ces Molina.
Again, challenged defense here para sa Cherry Tigo. Si Lauren Duretes kind of figuring out who will get that ball.
Biggest lead for the HD Spikers after trailing by as many as 2. And another miss received there by Shaya Adorador this time, forcing Coach Kung Fu Reyes to call his first timeout just 2 points after a technical timeout. We'll listen in.
Okay naman. Nag-check naman. Mabalasa ako ng tao. Parang pinag-check na yan. Pinag-matagal na nakagano yan. Mabuti na yung plano. Ay, fulfill niyo yung pagiging verse 60 naman kayo kung tutusin eh. Pero ganyan ang laro. Kaya tayo. Fulfill niyo yung trabaho. Otherwise, magbabalasa ulit kami ng tao. Ay, tulong lang kayo dyan.
Well, Coach Kung Fu Reyes in his first tournament as the head coach of crossovers, and you heard him during that last part of the huddle, Anne.
Oh yeah, definitely challenging these 6 players on the floor. Yung piliting magbalasa ng players. It is good that they really are given the chance. Yan naman dapat talaga, no? And I guess it is a good challenge. You have to earn the time that you play, so you better show me a good game. Let's see how they respond to that.
That's the deal when you become a professional player. I mean, you have to perform, otherwise you're going to be replaced. A nice push there by Shaya Adorador, who has struggled here in the second set. And a good dig as well from Shaya. Back row, Laure. Katindig diving for it. Molina with a push. Coverage by Robles. Cagande almost with a lift there. That is sent long by Laure. As the free fall continues for the crossovers, and they're now down by 5.
And the last thing that they want, of course, is to get into that situation where there's so much pressure. Look at that dive from Katindig.
Classic Katindig.
Yeah, I'm still getting used to calling her not Makandili, but Katindig.
I'm just trying to get over the fact she's wearing black instead of yellow. And Ces Molina with a solid block here. And right now, the HD Spikers are running away with the second set. They have doubled the output of the crossovers. 12-6 now, the biggest lead for either team in this match. Mylene Paat back in the game. And there's Ces Robles says enough is enough.
We've seen her and we know her for the kind of power she gives her attacks, and it really gave the defense of Signal a difficult time. Look at that. That was even directed towards Katindig.
Seth Rodriguez, 7 serving 12. Second set. Not a good pass there from Gandler. Molina picked up by Laure. Cagande goes to Robles once again. That's way short.
You know, she had the right thing in mind because she saw it. She saw that space where she can send the ball, but the execution was poor.
What's missing here in the second set, and aside from, I mean, obviously, new starting lineup compared to the first set for the crossovers, but it seems like they're out of sync.
You know, as an observer also, we felt the lack of intensity, with the exception of those hits from Robles, of course, back to so much power. But I think it's the body language is also very different. No? It's not as aggressive, assertive as what we've seen in the first set, at least for this roster here in the second set.
Well, no aragalang, at least the entire second set so far. We saw minutes with Abby Maraño, and now Maylene Paat in the lineup for the first time in the second set for the crossovers. Let's see if they can adjust and be more aggressive, like what you mentioned. And here's Carandang off the block. Doria attacks. Maylene Paat with the dump attempt, and she scores. Maylene Paat.
There's some miscommunication there on the side of Katindig and Gandler.
First point for Paat in the second set. She is now in double digits with 10.
And that is why Coach Kung Fu had to inject her back into the game.
They need her. Meantime, Jacqueline Acuna is in the game for the first time for the HD Spikers, former Lady Bulldog, who also played for the Lyceum Pirates. Their cross-court attack, Cesc Molina knocks it in.
You know, it doesn't help that the offense of Signal HD is on point. It, I guess, kind of emphasizes the challenge that Cherry Tigo currently has with their floor defense.
Molina scored her 10th point. Here's Cayuna serving 14-9, back to a 5-point cushion for the HD Spikers. Carandang off the block by Acuna. Katindig to Pasas. Yes! Just the defensive pattern. There's something amiss for the crossovers. There are a lot of empty holes. Pasas with 7 points.
And you don't see them actually, like, say, diving for the ball, right? Para ngayon medyo frozen, nakapako yung kanilang paa on the floor.
Biggest lead at 6 now. It's back to 5 with a service fault by Cayuna. Robles with 3 points. All scored here in the second set. Combination play. Chin Pasas now picking up her 8th point. She is very active.
You know, siya yung silently racking up the points.
Second technical timeout. 6-point lead again, the biggest for the HD Spikers.
Kailangan natin ng scorer, ha? Kailangan yung pumuntos ka sa loob. Kailangan yung maging aggressive sa defense.
Coach Kung Fu Reyes in the huddle during the second technical timeout, addressing the lack of offense. He said, kailangan nating pumuntos because they're back down by the biggest deficit. Pasas has been, like what you mentioned, such a silent offensive player for the HD Spikers, already with 8 points, but you don't see her as aggressive as you think she should be, but still very effective.
Here on the side of Cherry Tigo, of course, they find themselves in a position they don't want to be in. Kasi ito, 6 points. Yes, it may sound like, sige, kayang habulin yan. I think ang ayaw natin dito yung pressure of having to play catch-up with a team like Signal, who has been really on point so far here in the second set.
Off the chest of Robles, Molina scores again. This is now the biggest lead for the HD Spikers at 7. And you mentioned the word catch-up, and that was the issue for the crossovers. They were playing catch-up in the first set. They managed to tie. In fact, they were actually at set point, but maybe it took a lot out of them to get back in the game, and it ended up losing in an extended opening set. Gandler. Ooh, that's outside.
Didn't seem to have a good contact with the ball.
Nevertheless, Gandler with 11. She and Molina have 22 points together. Zakarandang, 11 serving 17. A lot of catching up to do for the crossovers. Cunha with the touch. Laure, that's Aya picking it up. Here's Mylene Paat with a right hand and still manages to score. How good is Mylene Paat?
Well, that's why she was injected into the game. They need more of these points. She used her right hand. Wala eh, alanganin, no? So she had to make do with what was given to her.
Here's Chai Troncoso in the game for the first time for Coach Shaq De Los Santos. One-handed set again for the All-Filipino Conference. Best center, Cayuna. And Basas once again.
Sabi kasi ni Basas, it doesn't have to be fancy. You know? Just look at this. But she has been very efficient. Most of the attempts we have seen from Basas, she's able to contribute.
9 points already for Chin Basas, and it's back to a 6-point lead here. Hey, Laure, that looked good right from the beginning.
Finally, that should help boost the confidence here of the ladies in red.
4 points, Ea Laure, all in the second set. A 5-point game. Shaya Dorador hasn't been much of a factor. Oh, beautiful set once again. How many one-handed sets have we seen from Cayuna? And they've been all pretty.
At that time, it was, fed right there for Meneses. Perfect timing. Look at that. It's as if alam na nila, no? Talaga di kailangan mag-usap. They've been playing together for a while. Connection is really there.
Seth Rodriguez manages to score. That's going to be her first point of the game.
And a very clean one at that. No defense there for Signal HD. Look at this angle. She went for also no walang blocker for Rodriguez.
Ea Laure. And the crossovers finished 4th in the second All-Filipino Conference, losing to this team, the HD Spikers, in the battle for 3rd place. Chance ball for the crossovers. Let's see what they do here. They go back to Seth Rodriguez. Back-to-back points for Rodriguez. And it's a mini run here for the crossovers. On a personal 2-point scoring barrage by Seth Rodriguez. From down 6, they are within 4 points. Cayuna to Riri Meneses, a fancy shot. Robles with a push, picked up by Basas. Cayuna, back row Molina with a push. Cagande, they go back row to Ea Laure. Ring Durendes keeping it alive. Shaya Adorador, cut shot, and that was not a good dig for Chin Basas. The run continues for the crossovers.
The last few runs, I think, naging madali for the attackers of Cherry Tigo. Hindi
Sipong sa ano pa rin, trabaho, okay lang yung pupuntos, pero recover tayo. Okay, palit na lang.
Well, from up 6 points, the HD Spikers, their lead is down to 3. Seth Rodriguez scoring 2 of the last 3 points of the crossovers. The last one from Shaya Adorador.
What has been missing was the challenge at the net. Hindi masyadong yung presence of the blockers wasn't felt as much, at least in those last few plays here for Signal.
Job Fernandez in the game for the first time for the HD Spikers. Ea Laure. Good pass there coming from Molina. Cesc Robles. Oh, wow! Cesc Robles. That was a little far from the net, but she still managed to send it with interest. There's going to be a challenge here, a block touch challenge, because apparently the ball sailed out.
You know, the score is not yet tied, no, to signal, but if you're rooting for Cherry Tigre, you have to appreciate what you see also. This run that they are showing. Kanina challenge na ni coach na magpapalit tayo kung ganyan, no? But now you see them responding to that challenge.
Well, it's a lineup full of veterans, so they know what to do.
Meanwhile, of course, the suspense continues as we await whether this challenge is successful or not.
Coaching staff saying there was a block touch on the hit by Robles. This is the first challenge for the crossovers. Each team with 2 challenges. HD Spikers only with 1 challenge remaining. There's no touch there. So both teams now with 1 challenge remaining, as this is going to be unsuccessful for Coach Kung Fu Reyes and the crossovers. Chai Troncoso serving from Central Philippine University. Cagante, the back set. There's a block by Meneses on Rodriguez, and Meneses puts it away on the overpass. A mini 2-point run for the HD Spikers. Their lead is back up to 5 after this kill from the middle by Meneses. Timeout for Coach Kung Fu Reyes.
Di ba? Yun yung ano ba, yung adjustment depende sa galaw ng bola. Okay tayo doon. Okay? Tulad doon, pagbalik, yari tayo. Bakit? Naiiwan na itong area natin eh. Supposed din tayo ang alamang that moment. Okay? Tara.
Crossovers, they were as close as 3 points after being down by as many as 6. But a 2-point run by the HD Spikers. And the deficit is back to 5. 21 serving 16. Chai Troncoso and the HD Spikers are 4 points away from a 2-0 advantage in their first game in the Champions League of the PNVF. Good pass by Buding Duremdes. Battle at the net, and the smaller Cagante winning over Riri Meneses.
You know, in terms of possession, no, mas nasa tamang possession pa si Riri in that joust. Look at this. But using her strength to win that one and avoid the net as well.
So a good stop, a good side out for the crossovers. Giselle C is in the game for the first time for the HD Spikers. Oh, and a nice shot! Cross court for Shaya Adorador, who has been struggling here in set number 2. And that ought to make her feel good. This is now a 2-point run for the crossovers.
It was a miscommunication also, nagkatinginan Fernandez and Z. Sino bang kukuha nito?
Right. It is a 3-point game again. It is the closest crossovers have been. Molina, good dig, good save by Cagante as well. That could have hit the antenna off the first touch. Ea Laure with coverage. Zacarandang from the middle. Chai Troncoso popping it up. Katindig will set it. They go to Fernandez. Adorador passes Cagante. Back row, Laure, got it! Ea Laure! Yes! This is now a 3-point run for the crossovers. They are within 2 after being down by 5.
And, you know, Laure, look at this. Really an indispensable player here for Cherry Tigre.
Timeout here for Coach Shaq de los Santos. 5 points for Ea Laure, and it's a 2-point game.
Lahat ng pinupunta sila nandito. Kaya magulat na pupunta dyan kasi okay na kami dito eh. Ha? Yung mga free-ball, alam niya na naman yung gagawin niya. Tataas yung nasa gitna. Okay? Sige. Stay focus ha. One good pass. Atake tayo na maayos. Pagka power tayo. Power ha.
Now, right now, Cesc Molina and the HD Spikers, they need to get a side out. That is the game plan right now, because Seth Rodriguez and the Crossovers are on a 3-point run, and they have momentum. Their confidence is on its way up.
Yeah, this really tells you there is no point in the game when you can relax.
Yeah.
Has to be the same intensity all the time.
Oh, terrific block by Carandang on Meneses. Troncoso popping it up. Molina. And that is no good. The dig by Shai Adorador. And Molina gets the side out for the HD Spikers on a deceptive shot here. She was facing cross court, but she hit it down the line.
She saw that opportunity. Isa lang yung blocker niya, no? There was a lot of room for her.
That stops the 3-point run by the Crossovers. Back to a 3-point cushion for the HD Spikers. Duremdes to Robles. Nice block by Acuna. Robles tries again, blocked again. Carandang, blocked again. Oh, Acuna! How good has she been in that sequence for the HD Spikers defensively?
You know, Cherry Tigo was finding a way to clear the blockers, but Acuna single-handedly blocking that one from Carandang. But even earlier, no, yung attempt sa left side for the outside hitters, really sinisipagan nila yung blocking.
There's another block by Acuna against Carandang again. So back-to-back monster blocks for Acuna, and she puts the HD Spikers at 5 set points. Adorador, that's way outside, and she even crossed the center line. So that is it for the second set. And after a good run by the Crossovers, it was the blocking of Jacqueline Acuna who turned it around.
You know, just when it matters the most, that's when you make your presence felt.
And more comfortable